Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Blind Squirrel Talk, famous in a small town. I'm Lulu.
I'm Kim.
And this is Marlena Ring. And thank you for being here today. And you're going to talk to us about a whole lot of stuff, but all things library at first, right?
Yeah.
Marlena is our assistant librarian, correct?
I am.
And how long have you been there?
I have been there for about 5 months.
But
Now, I've seen you in the library when we had activities and stuff with your beautiful family.
Yes.
So you've loved our library longer than you've worked there, right?
Yes, I have. I have 3 kiddos whom I homeschool, and we found our library. That was about the first thing that we found when we moved to Maysville, and we loved it so much that I've just started spending more and more time there, and then I decided I wanted to work there, so there we go.
I heard that you just would never leave, so they just went ahead and hired you.
Yeah, they just decided I was going to stick around anyways. They might as well make me do something useful while I was there.
Well, how have you survived summer reading?
Summer reading has been super awesome. I have loved it because my favorite part of working at the library is seeing all of the kids come in and helping them find books. And I have some little patrons that come in and they tell me about what their favorite things are. And we have some really voracious readers. And they've started recommending books to me, which is the sweetest thing ever. And we have one young man who I think he's about 11. And I mean, he reads so many books. I don't think I could keep up with him if I tried. And he asked me about a book the other day. He's like, have you ever read this? And I said, I don't think I have. And I read it and I couldn't put it down. And so I told all my kids, no, you have to read this book. It's called The Clockwork 3. So you should read it too.
Clockwork 3.
Yes.
And you have it at the Maysville Library.
We do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. It's at my house right now, but it'll be back soon.
Is it like a teen book or an adult? Or?
It is for anyone. I think it's written for kids. It's through Scholastic. Probably ages 10 and up could read it on their own, and it is a fabulous story. There is some fantasy involved, and there's some mystery involved, and it's a story about kids and a story about grown-ups and good triumphing over evil, and it's so much fun. And there's clockwork, and there's robots, and all sorts of fun things.
Nice.
Yeah.
Everything
really
that
fun.
everybody wants all
Right,
in the book.
yeah, you don't know what to expect the next page, so you just keep turning the page. What's coming next? What's coming next? So, yeah, it's a great book.
So at the Maysville Library, how many book club readers did you have this summer? Do they keep a number?
Oh my
count on
goodness,
that?
I don't think we've counted up yet, but I know that for some of our programs that we had more than 100 people show up, which is
Oh.
amazing, but also a little chaotic for how small our library is. But it was so much fun. There were so many kids and the grown-ups that brought them coming in all the time, and lots of people coming in and asking about book recommendations, and it was so much fun. And there may be video evidence of me going down the water slide at the end of summer reading party. So
Oh.
That's next week, right?
it was this past week.
Oh, it was, okay.
Yes.
I missed
We
it.
just had it on Friday, and it was so much fun. Yes. And it didn't rain until after, so that's always a good thing.
That helps. Tell us a little bit about coming to Maysville, because I know you're originally from California.
I am. So my husband and I grew up in California, and California was a bit slower and calmer when we grew up in California, and things started to get busier and things started to change, and we had our kids, and we got to the point where, so our kids were, I think, 2, 4, and 6 when we moved here to Georgia, and it was a grand adventure. My husband had an opportunity for a new job, and so he came out to Georgia by himself and talked with the company and did some looking around, and he was like, yeah, I think we're gonna do it. We wanted somewhere that had a slower pace of life and was safer to raise our kids, because in California where we were, I mean, we weren't in an inner city or anything, but it was to the point where like I couldn't even really go to the grocery store during the day with the kids, and like they couldn't play outside in the yard.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
it was bad. So we decided we wanted to move somewhere where our kids could play outside, you know, and make memories, like the memories that we had growing up. You'd go outside and you'd play with your friends all the
day.
time.
Be
and
home
play
by
on
the time the
swing, and
street lights come
that's
on.
right. Yeah, we don't even have streetlights, but that's okay with me. But yeah, so we moved out here for his job, and we moved in our camping trailer because he had a really big territory when we first moved here in Georgia, so we didn't know exactly where we were going to land. So it was our newly 2-year-old who was potty training,
Oh my goodness.
our 4-year-old, and our 6-year-old who had just finished kindergarten. And we brought a friend with us that was college aged, And so all of us were living in our camping trailer, and it was a grand adventure. Ooh. A little grander than we had designed on, because on the way here, we were making stops along the way, because you're not going to drive from California to Georgia in one go, especially with small kids.
And a trailer.
Right, yeah. We had 3 cars and our trailer, so it was crazy. But we stopped at a rest stop in Texas, and my son was walking along the edge of, there was like a big picnic table, and he was walking along the edge of it, and he fell off, and we couldn't see how he landed because there was like a retaining wall, and he let out this horrible scream, and we thought, oh no, what's happened? And we didn't even want to move him. So long story shortened a bit, we were in the middle of nowhere in Texas. We didn't know where we were. We Googled where the nearest hospital was, and it was about half an hour from us, and we thought, well, we can call an ambulance, and it's going to take them half an hour to get here and half an hour to get back, or we can just get in the car and drive. So we called my mother-in-law, who's a registered nurse, and we talked to her on the way there, and my kiddo was in the back of the car crying, vomiting, and I was yelling at him, trying to keep him awake all the way there. We made it, going as quick as we could. This hospital was amazing. We ran in, and
Wait a minute.
I had
So
nothing.
we've got 3 cars, a trailer, all these kids, and you're all pulling into a hospital parking
Yep,
lot.
I pulled into the ambulance
Okay.
entrance, jumped out of the car with my kid, left my car running, and my husband had to deal with the aftermath. We went in, and my kid was like the weirdest shade of green, and they looked at us, and thankfully there was a trash can next to him because he threw up as soon as we walked in. We told him what happened, and we went straight into the back. He had a concussion. He did recover, but it was a very long recovery, and having a concussion, having autism, and moving cross country, not a good combination, would not recommend.
Wow.
So that was the start of us getting to Georgia, was the aftermath of a concussion and this crazy trip to Texas, but it ended up working out well. We found a home, and we moved into our first home in Georgia end of October in 2016. We lived in Houston,
Okay.
and we lived in an older subdivision because we didn't want to be on a main road because we had little kids, and it was an older subdivision. We were on the back side, so there was like no through traffic, so we thought, this is a good place to raise kids, and it was wonderful, and it was lovely, and we ended up homeschooling because we didn't know where we were going to land during the
Right.
summer, and I didn't want to have to pull my kid out of school and put him back in, so we were like, we'll homeschool this year. And we're still homeschooling.
We
My
homeschool
oldest
too.
is 15, so we've never looked back really. But it wasn't in the cards. It wasn't in our plan. But we lived in Houston for 5 years, and then started looking for another home that was a little bit more rural and a little bit further out and not in a subdivision. And our mother-in-law had actually moved to Maysville while we were living in Houston from California. We drug her out with us. And we hadn't really thought about moving to Maysville. We were actually looking in North Georgia, but all the homes that we looked at, there was nowhere for our kids to play. Like, it was beautiful scenery, but it was like on the side of a mountain or something, and there wasn't a backyard. And we met this realtor by chance at a showing, and she ended up taking us to this house that we loved, but that was not the house for us. But what kind of changed our mind about what we were looking for is when my husband and I were walking through the house, she was outside playing tag in the front yard with the kids, and it was just grass outside, and it was pasture. And we stood there, and we were watching her play with the kids, and we were like, I think we're looking for the wrong thing.
Right.
And I remembered there was this kind of quirky old house that I had seen online that was really close to my mother-in-law's house. And I thought, I think I'm just going to go back and look at the house again. And we had never really thought about looking at a historic home because we didn't want to have to deal with renovations and things like that
Right.
with 3 small kids. But we looked through it, and I was like, this has to be too good to be true. Like, this can't be what this
Right.
house actually looks like. And, when you're looking at real estate listings, it's hard to, piece, what room goes where.
And the pictures always look better.
Yeah. Well, this was not the case. We walked into the house, and it was just like everything clicked and fell into place. And when we walked into that kitchen, it was just amazing. It is a dream. The previous owners did a wonderful job with our home, and the man that renovated the house, he built the house for his family, his wife and his kids, and you can tell the love that he put into it. And we love that house so much. My kids were not interested in moving, and when we walked into that house and we walked through it, they were like, "Can we just stay? Do we have to go home? I don't want to go home." So it was totally just meant to be, and we love living in Maysville.
So when you walked in the door, did you know that you
we
did?
were like, "This is home."
And your husband did too?
Oh my gosh, my husband thought I was crazy. We sat down, and they had beautiful antique furniture, and I sat down in the front of the house. We had walked through the whole downstairs, and I started crying, and I was like, "I can see my grandkids having Christmas in this house."
Aww.
Like, and I just like, he was like, "Okay, so this is the house for us." Yeah, so we are there, and we've been there for 5 years. We love it. We love it. We love it so much. It's awesome. The kids can run and play outside. We have a swing outside. We have a wonderful neighbor now that has moved in, and she's renovating the small little farmhouse. And she has chickens and
The kids
a puppy.
love that.
Oh, yes. So we have a dog, and she has a dog, and so the dogs are best friends. It's the cutest thing ever because one of them will be outside, and the other one will come outside, and it's like, the twilight
come
bark.
play?
Yes. Woof, 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 come play with me.
Yeah.
So they love it too, and it's so much different living. We have 3 acres, and then we back up to our neighbor's pasture, and he raises cattle, and it's so nice to be able to watch the cows graze, but not to have to take care of said cows.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it just feels like our yard goes on forever, and so the kids have so much room to run and play outside, and it's lovely.
And it's a beautiful home.
It is.
It is a beautiful
I love it.
home.
I'm biased, but
So your mother-in-law lived in Maysville how long prior to when y'all lived here?
maybe a year or 2.
A year or so.
Yeah.
And so during that time, you just kind of passed through Maysville, never really gave it much attention.
No, not really. We drive through and we think, this is such a cute little town. It's so awesome. But we never really stopped in downtown. We weren't sure what there was to do. We'd come and we'd see grandma, or she'd come visit us, but we just kind of drove through, and we never thought too much of it. And then
And now it's your forever home.
yeah, it is. It's awesome.
Yeah. So how long after you got here did it take you to get involved with the library?
It was probably one of the first things we did was finding the library, because we had been really involved at the library near our last home. It was the Hamilton Mill Library, and they have a really awesome space for kids. And so, the library was like our second home, being homeschoolers. So we were like, I wonder, does Maysville have a library?
Yeah.
And then we found it. We're like, oh, this is so awesome. And the librarians were so sweet. And so we would go visit them, and the kids developed such a relationship with the librarians. And so my kids love to bake and cook. And so we'd make cookies or something and take it to the librarians. And they just thought it was so fun. And when the kids were little, we used to go to craft time and make crafts at the library and read a story. And so that was so fun. Yeah, and then before I got my job this year, I was thinking, I wonder if they need somebody to volunteer. And so I went in and I was talking to Miss Julie, and she said, actually, we're looking to hire somebody. Do you know anybody? And I was like, oh, I think I might be interested. And it was just kind of this weird thing where the stars align, and it was like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So tell us about some of the things the library has to offer, other than books, because I know that in the library, there's certain things you can get, like you can go see events or places or things like that.
Well, they used to have the zoo passes, did they?
We did. We don't have the Zoo Pass anymore because Zoo Atlanta sadly ended that program.
Why?
It was a 14-year program. They're doing some new different programming, and I think they just wanted to try something different.
Oh, too bad.
Which is so sad. But we do have movies that you can come borrow. We have tablets for the kiddos. We have computers that you can use at the library, but we also have laptops that you can check out to use for your family, or your kids can use, or if you have a paper that you need to work on.
For free? How does that work?
You just have a library card and have your info on file, and you come in and you borrow a laptop. We have hotspots that you can borrow if you're going on a trip, or you're getting your internet worked on and you need internet for a week or 2. And so that's super awesome too.
You just check out a hotspot
Yep.
for free?
Yep.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Wow.
Yep, we have hotspots on computers. And then there are super fun things that you can borrow from us. Also, we have different passes. So in Atlanta, there's the Center for Puppetry Arts. So you can take your kids to go check that out. There are passes for the Georgia State Parks. So if you want to go on a hike with your kids or go check out a lake or one of the cool museums that they have, usually parking is $5 and you can get free parking. And at some of the historic sites, there are other things to do there also, and there's a historic site pass in there too. And there's also other museum passes and things. So go to your library, ask your librarians, where can I go? What can I do? There are so many fun things that you can do.
And these are all
through
free.
the library. They are all free. All you have to have is a library card, and a library card is totally free too.
That's right.
There's no excuse not to have a fun-filled summer, a fun-filled year.
Yeah, for sure.
They have book clubs. They have craft clubs.
We do. We have a book club.
bingo
we have
night.
a craft club. We have bingo night, which is the last Thursday of every month, and it's at 4 p.m. And my son likes to be our bingo caller, so you can come meet Zach and see all of his silly high school antics. But there's always fun prizes. There's always fun people to sit with, and we usually bake something fun for bingo night. So there's yummy snacks, and you get to meet some other friends that live here in Maysville, or maybe bring some friends with you to meet somebody new. So there's bingo night. There is story time for the little ones on Mondays at 10, which is super fun. Miss Deborah does that for us.
Aww.
And they read a story, and then they usually do a craft, and the kids have so much fun. It's so sweet. And if you ever come into the library, you have to look behind our desk. There's so many different pieces of artwork, and it's all things that the kids have made at story time.
Aww.
And they bless me. I love them so much. They're so sweet. But yeah, and there's always new things coming up. So check our Facebook, check our website. There's always fun things to do at the library.
I think people don't realize just what a resource a library
Right.
is and how important it is to any town, you know, to have that
Yeah,
library.
there's so many things besides books, and the books are awesome too, but there's lots of other things, and there's lots of programs that we have on our computers that you can use too if you want to do research on your ancestry, or you want to learn a new language, or your kids need help researching something. Come use a computer at the library, and there's a lot of things you can learn, and that's all free too.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are quite the saleswoman.
Well, you know, there's a lot of things that people don't know or don't realize about the library, and a lot of it I didn't know until I started working there, because you learn about everything, you know, so that you can help people when they want to come in with those
Right.
things. And I was like, wait, we have this and we have that? I didn't know about that. So there's lots of fun things that
That's
you can
awesome.
do.
Well, we're glad you're a part of Maysville.
Yes,
And,
we are.
I am very happy to be here. I love Maysville. I love living in a small town. And I'm one of those crazy people that, you know, throughout my life, I've gone from living in the suburbs, and I just keep getting smaller. You know, it's like more rural. We love being out and just enjoying the countryside. And I love Maysville and this small little town.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, we're happy you came to join us.
We appreciate all the knowledge. And so everybody, go to the library and
Meet the ladies over there.
Yes.
yeah.
Come see us. We would love to see you. We are open Monday through Friday, so we have different hours. So let's see. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we are there from 9 to 5. Tuesday and Thursday, we are there until 6. And then on Saturdays, if you need something on the weekend, we are there from 10 to 2. So come say hi, come on in, and come ask us about what programs we have going on, because there's always something fun to do at the library.
Oh, wonderful. Awesome. Well, we appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode of Blind Squirrel Talk. Again, I'm Lulu,
I'm Kim.
And I'm Marlena.
and we will see y'all next time. Bye. Go to the library.